All right, testing, testing. Okay, welcome back to another episode, I guess, of Alone Again, the podcast where I do this alone. I mean, it's obvious from the title. I've been alone for a lot of my years, months, who knows. Kind of an ambiverted fellow. Can't seem to, go outside because of environmental factors or something, familiar factors, maybe something relating to me just being, and maybe it's a psychological kind of thing, but this is somewhat of a coping mechanism. It's a communication to anyone who is probably watching this, hearing this, you know. I would thank the support, but then again, I am a loser. In my mind, at least, because, you gotta take humility with stride. You gotta put it yourself in together and try to at least, you know, accommodate with your failures. I'm speaking of this like a train of thought here, so I don't know if I could understand myself, but at least I'm communicating with some sense of consciousness. Contemplating about my own lifestyle, being in this bed, recording with my crappy headset, and got a little bit of the nice night treatment, you know, just laying around, relaxing upstairs here. My sister's outside doing something important, outside, like not like like somewhere in the city, like out of town. But not like trip out of town, just going somewhere that's not in our location to be exact. You gotta make phrasing sound a little bit more cooler than you think. Or I'll phrase it again. Metaphrasing, you have to make phrasing sound better. I myself am not the kind of person who would use that tactic. I speak instantly with my brain, and I think that's a bad thing. But hey, I can't change that, right? I'm very secure about my communication skills. I have a lack of trying to word out my processes, and only of trying to put aside everything. I could be sociable, but only in glimpses, not really in full conversation mode. That's something I cannot really endure, and I think that's a horrible aspect to think of it. Horrible aspect to think of. I have to say it twice due to the fact that I have to, put it up to volume. But anyway, yeah, horrible factor when you're trying to do this podcast for what is approximately half a minute, half an hour. Still, just treading along, I'm trying to at least find a topic, you know, played, did a break, played some Mugen fighting game, probably heard of it, recorded some of it, has got some continuity there. At least, you guys, at least some people know about that, right? Let's hope. Yeah, Mugen's a pretty great game. Love this sort of games where it's like a relic, but also still fresh out of the box. There's types of games where it feels nostalgic, nostalgic games, but still can be opened and feel fresh to the common eyes of a young person born from the mid 2000s when the game was still booming in popularity. Reminds me of a time when I played Total Annihilation. Should like try to replay that game. I mean, it wasn't really. I don't. I kind of remember like this one major detail, this one major part. Had fun about it. Nuking everything. There's this one part. It's a real-time strategy game. I think you like nuke everything. I mean, there's an option you can nuke everything. I'm starting off with 5 minutes and already I'm going with like rapid fire detail here. I mean, that's like that's something I would like to do. Just rapid fire stuff like bam, 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 pizza, pizza, bam. But there's definitely something that I can't really do. Just at the bottom of my heart, I just can't really communicate words that much. Trying to do this podcast is a bit. I don't want to say podcast. I mean, I do want to say podcast. I mean, it's in the title, so you're not really getting much. What I do want to say is that, by definition, at least, by some sort of like, I don't know, force of nature, it, my brain, controls. What I'm trying to say is that, you know, I have to like control my sauce in a way so it could keep it coherent. But honestly, this podcast doesn't have any coherence, so it could be about anything. Maybe that's the point of this whole podcast. You know, the whole point of it is to try at least to find a meaning, just like life itself. Trying to find something sensible in the senseless world full of nonsense and talking about whatever game I played hours ago. I had a good kind of lunch. Would probably skip dinner, but my intuition's probably starving. I would like to take a nap. Would like to take a rest after this. Get some healthier sleep. Times are odd for me. I've been sleeping at like 1 a.m. or something. 12 a.m., 1 a.m. I mean, it's about that habit I have. Try and eat too much, and then realizing that I gotta do like to do because of some stomach ache. Again, stream of consciousness, train of thought. Can't really explain that to someone who's willing to bet about my own existence. I assume I have one. But then again, you know, for a couple days, I was a bit, kind of shocked. Not really shocked. I was just, like fascinated on how a few people could just like think about my words actually good. Including my parents, just think, my vocabulary in English is superfluous, expandable, and more well adjusted than the others. I at least would say that, but with a modicum of interest, I wouldn't really dare to say anything about my sense of English. No, I'm of course talking about how I speak. I have my own dialect, cause I speak things like future music. I think that's another word. I don't know. I guess it's only future and music, but computer. Yes, I kind of made my own dialect. Summit. That's another word. Got it from Homestar Runner episode. It's female, to be specific, and that's made you wonder how much how much of my life has been how much of my life has been dictated by this one simple flash cartoon that everyone, well, not really everyone, but everyone in my generation sort of forgets. I mean, there are people who like that kind of stuff, but you know, there are that certain type of people and that certain type of is me who are very interested in that sort of stuff. Like, really interested. I've been, I kind of forgot if they ever really updated the site. I actually don't know. I've never like put effort. Okay, I really should have like checked But then again, they're like busy fellas, the Chapman brothers. I'm trying to find like something, similar. I mean, I'm kind of a comedy guy, but not like one of those, you know, comedy guys that like, uncool, unhip, whatever you kids call it. I mean, no, everyone's got their own sense of comedy. Everyone got their own sense of humor. I can't really, justify it. We live in a very different world. Differentiated world, variable world. Everyone's their own customizable character. I think I just spoke that was a little bit of soul, honestly. Okay. I've been listening. I've been listening to, something by, the legendary guy. And then I deleted it for some reason. Great. It's legendary jazz artist. Well, I don't want to say legendary. I mean, I barely get into his work. I'm trying to get into his work. Sun Ra. And, honestly, I mean, if you want more, like, big band stuff, free jazz stuff, space jazz, and that's my comment, space jazz. Put that as you will. If you want space jazz, go check that guy out, Sun Ra. Uh, you know, a bunch of people in my country. I mean, wish there were more people in my country who discovered, more obscure artists from years, decades bygone. I mean, yeah, sure, it's fun to, check out obscure artists in the modern age, but I think, I feel that there are still, like, remnants of the decades gone by that is, like, cool. I'm a dinosaur. I've never really been, hit with the trends lately. I mean, I've tried, I mean, I do occasionally use TikTok, but that's for, like, video making purposes, not really into the whole scrolling feature. You know that there's a YouTube with a shorts thing. I mean, I do use that, but honestly, it's not really good. I wouldn't say not really good, but it's just too decent. It's not really achieving anything that, things. It's sort of a clone to TikTok. I think that's all the time we have for today. I hear Door Creek. I don't want anyone to think of me as a raving lunatic. I talk to myself. I don't want people to think that, I just talk to myself. I mean, the whole concept of a podcast is just essentially one guy talks to himself and the whole world, some guy somewhere, I don't know where, Alaska, Antarctica, state of, North Dakota, Wisconsin, they just think that this guy's so cool, this guy's so amazing, and this guy is like, very, very, intellectual. He's so conscious about the world. But then again, he's just talking to himself, man. He's just talking to himself. He just gives up an existential kind of dread. But not like that, but, I mean, when's the last time I talked to a human? Excluding my family. It's been a while. Ever since, the whole lockdown thing is just, kind of a mess. Somewhat in proportion to our own world falling apart. Well, not really. That's my perspective. Sometimes, falling apart the world falling apart could lead to, reconstruction of that world. I mean, I don't know. And, it's just some sort of like, text to say. Like, if you keep these sacred texts, I would probably, be proud of you. But don't, don't, don't expect much. I mean, sorry if this is short. Sorry if this is not long. I know that, you know, by my own standards, there would be something to talk about, but give me a moment. But for the reason being, I just don't know if there's any coherence. I'm sorry. I said that like a lot of times now. Like, jeez. That's all the time we have for today. To the next time where I will have more free will or determinism, depending on your view of life. And until next time, see you later. And the word of the day, pretty sure there was a word of the day the last episode. The word of the day is confusion. Confusion. That's the word of the day, confusion. See ya, whatever time. The following program you just listened to before word or afterward is rated L for loud. The echo effect that doesn't really work probably in this headset.